The Mustang Morning News is a public forum for student expression. Students make all content decisions, and opinions do not necessarily represent those of the Manhattan Beach Unified School District.
While COVID cases are dropping, still over 4,000 people in LA County test positive every day. This has teachers worried for their safety and leaves students wondering if in-person school is worth it.
And hate crimes against Asian Americans are up dramatically, especially here in the South Bay. So, how does our speech affect Asian Americans?
This is the Mustang Morning News. Welcome back to the Mustang Morning News. I'm Walker Watson.
And I'm Caden Kubler. Get ready to test your knowledge with the Costa Quiz.
Here's how it works. Go to our Instagram story at Mustang Morning News and respond with your name, your teacher's name, and your answer to today's question. The first person to get the answer right will get a shout out for them in their class. Here's today's question. As of February 8th, how many Americans have died from COVID-19? The answer choices are A. 550,000, B. 795,000, C. 905,000, or D. 1 million.
Think you know the answer? Submit it through our response box on our Instagram story now at Mustang Morning News. Teachers at Costa have as many as 300 students every single day. This means they come into contact with people who have COVID, increasing their chances of getting infected. Allison Custer finds out what teachers are worried about and what it's like to teach during a pandemic.
As MiraCosta students returned to school from winter break, a large wave of Omicron cases came with them. As of January 20th, 184 of MiraCosta's 2,710 student population reported to have tested positive, and many more had to quarantine as a close contact.
A job like this sort of a bit of a risk because you're around people all the time. You can't avoid it.
When coming into school each day and seeing 200 to 300 or more students, our teachers are putting themselves at risk.
I follow every protocol under the sun. I got it. Do I know how I got it? I have no clue. I assume here. Some kid who probably didn't have symptoms or, woke up with a headache and didn't think anything of it. And I walked by and they breathed on me. Who knows, right?
When the school day ends, our teachers also return to their own families, many of which could experience a severe or potentially fatal case of COVID-19.
That is something we're always considering, is feeling the guilt of bringing that back home.
We all have, if not our own medical conditions, we also have others we're caring for.
Amidst their own concerns, teachers also have to face accusations and a lack of understanding from certain community groups who continue to attack them and students who have stood up and shown their concerns in events like the Redondo Union walkout.
This is not preferable for anybody. Nobody asked for this. Teachers are taking a big brunt of it.
We are feeling expendable.
A rise in cases here at MiraCosta has sparked concerns among teachers about safety. For more information about COVID protocols and reported cases at our school, visit the MBUSD website or visit our Instagram page at Mustang Morning News for more updates. For the Mustang Morning News, this is Allison Custer.
When you're indoors, you're almost 20 times more likely to contract COVID than when you're outside. In response to this fact, some teachers have taken their classes outside of the classroom and around campus to places like the Mustang Mall. Caden Kubler reports.
The United States and Manhattan Beach are surging with COVID cases of the Omicron variant. MiraCosta teachers such as Getzi, Favre, and Kofal have tried outdoor learning and hope to reduce their chance of catching COVID. The loss of productivity in outdoor classes is leaving many students and teachers wondering if in-person school is our best option. The risk of catching COVID indoors is almost 20 times higher than outdoors, but when classes move outside, they lose critical classroom resources like desks and projectors. Holding class outside also comes with loud distractions like birds and cars.
Because there's just like people walking by, kind of distracting. You see some friends out there and you kind of lose focus.
Since the end of winter break, 552 students have missed school with COVID and close contact cases, which is over 1/5 of Costa's population. Finding a place to test or buying at-home tests have become very difficult. Costa offers free COVID testing every Monday and Wednesday, but waiting in line takes hours. The Biden administration has made COVID tests available through a government website. Households can order 4 tests at a time and will have to wait 7 to 12 days to receive them.
So in the first 2 weeks after the break, we should have taken a pause. It would have been great to do the testing first, get the results first, and not mix everyone else up.
With difficulty to find testing, it forces kids to miss school. Vaccinated students can come back if testing negative on their 5th day in quarantine. In Manhattan Beach, kids ages 12 to 17 are 92.7% vaccinated.
Everyone has specific needs. It's unique to each individual, and we're just doing our best to answer questions, accommodate, and find the right resources to provide when needed to support any individual in any situation that they bring to our attention.
MiraCosta has mandated the wearing of masks indoors and outdoors at all times. If 6 feet distant outside, you can eat or drink.
There are state guidelines in terms of what we can offer in teaching and learning, and right now that is in-person learning.
Despite their concerns, the district has no current plan to go to online learning. For the Mustang Morning News, this is Caden Kugler. Hate crimes against Asian Americans have increased by almost 75% in the South Bay since the start of the pandemic. Zoe Fan and Maddie Lentz reports on what's causing the increase and how it affects its victims.
That name gets further and further away from China as opposed to calling it the Chinese virus.
The first time Trump said Chinese virus was March 16, 2020, and the following week there was an increase in anti-Asian hashtags as well as a rise in hate crimes. Since then, Trump used another name, Kung Flu.
So this kind of scapegoating of Asians having culpability for the virus, is a dynamic that appears to be taking place, worldwide. In the United States, it's taking a particularly more virulent form.
Hate crimes against Asian Americans have increased 73% in LA County since 2020.
A hate crime is a crime motivated by bias against race, color, religion, national origin, sexual orientation, gender identity, or disability.
For the people who do investigations, there's got to be another crime that takes place, whether it's an assault or whatever.
Experts warned against using provocative and racist tweets as well as statements since they can serve as an influence for hate crimes.
They were talking about North Korea or something, and then they turned around and tapped me on the shoulder, and they started making fun of me and asking how life was growing up in North Korea.
According to the American Journal of Criminal Justice, the rise is largely indicated by hate incidents in which COVID-19 has been repeatedly labeled by the mass media as Chinese virus or China virus.
45% of Asian adults say they have experienced at least one of 5 specific offensive incidents since the start of the coronavirus outbreak.
In 2021, a legislation was passed called the COVID-19 Hate Crimes Act. This new bill was aimed at addressing hate crimes, emphasizing on the increases of violence on Asian Americans.
The Asian American Club is another community that is trying to combat the rising hate.
Create a safe space and a community where all the Asian Americans at Costa can feel like they belong, because a lot of prejudice and microaggressions, especially at Costa.
For us to not become victims, there's little things just within our own reach with our own family. Don't let them be afraid. Say, we got your back.
For the Mustang Morning News, this was Zoe Fan and Madison Lentz.
We have the answer to today's Costa quiz. The question was, as of February 8th, how many Americans have died from COVID-19? The answer is C, 905,000, which is more American deaths than those in the Civil War, both World Wars, and 9/11 combined.
That's all for today's show, but we're still busy reporting on our Instagram at Mustang Morning News. Follow to check out the MiraCosta 5 Super Bowl edition.
Thanks for watching, Mustangs. Have a great day.